Mr. Chair, and let me start by recognizing your collegiality and also the thoughtful members on both sides of the aisle. And I also want to thank the dedicated staff, the committee staff, my own team for their hard work and guidance. It's an honor to serve as the ranking member of this committee. But above all, I want to express my deep gratitude to the public servants who bring American values to life around the world, diplomats, development professionals, and humanitarian workers. They have served some of the most dangerous and difficult places on earth. Many were recently forced out of their jobs, dismissed without cause or ceremony. To those who have served and to those still standing, you are patriots. You represent the best of who we are, and we owe you more than thanks. We also owe you the tools to do your job. Mr. Chair, with the right allocation and a White House that actually valued diplomacy, development, and humanitarianism, I believe we could have crafted a strong bipartisan measure worthy of our nation's leadership. Instead, I rise in fierce opposition to the Republican FY26 State Foreign Operations and Related Programs Bill, a reckless, short-sighted blueprint for American retreat. And it follows a deeply troubling pattern. The White House has illegally impounded foreign aid, dismantled USAID, gutted the State Department, all without input from Congress. More than 10,000 USAID staff were dismissed. Over 5,000 aid programs were axed. Just last week, 1,300 State Department employees were let go, entire offices eliminated. And all this in the middle of a global convergence of crises, armed conflicts, climate disasters, health emergencies, famine, mass migration, and rising authoritarianism. And this is not theoretical. These crises are slamming into us when fragile states collapse, migration surges. When we cancel trade support, American farmers and manufacturers lose customers. When we fail to build climate resilience, homes and crops are washed away. When global health systems fail, disease reaches our shores. And when the United States pulls back, China and Russia are right there to take our place. And worse still, our closest allies, pressured to increase military spending, are also cutting their foreign aid. So as global needs explode, the soft power of democratic nations is vanishing, and the vacuum left behind is going to be filled by regimes that don't share our values or interests. This bill slashes international affairs funding by 22% at $13 billion in deep, devastating cuts. It guts development and economic support. Children pulled from classrooms and left without clean water. Farmers cut off from tools that feed communities. Young entrepreneurs abandoned, fueling extremism and instability. Conflict prevention programs eliminated so violence erupts unchecked. Local organizations, our most trusted partners, shut down. It cuts humanitarian assistance by 42%. That's not just unwise, it's inhumane. Women and girls in conflict zones left without care after suffering horrific sexual violence. Refugees denied shelter, medicine, and hope. Food rations slashed below survival levels in places like Syria, Sudan, and Bangladesh. And millions of children dying from malnutrition. This bill is cruel, it's cold, and it is not who we are. And of course, Republicans couldn't resist another attack on women, reviving the global gag rule, gutting funding for the UN Population Fund, and shortchanging family planning programs that save lives and lift up communities. This bill also abandons international institutions like the United Nations and the World Health Organization. It sidelines the United States from global decision-making, weakens our ability to promote peace and defend allies. It forces partners into the arms of authoritarian regimes and forfeits the power of burden sharing through institutions like UNICEF, the World Bank, and the UN. And it is putting China in charge of the world. And let me be blunt, these cuts are not abstract. They're deadly. In Nigeria, malnourished infants are dying because therapeutic food deliveries have stopped. In Miramar, hospitals are shutting their doors in the middle of a conflict. In Gambia, programs to support survivors of female genital mutilation have been halted just as the country debates legalizing the practice. And in Ukraine, wounded soldiers are going to go without care. In Afghanistan, pregnant women are being turned away from clinics. In Ecuador, women entrepreneurs stripped of support are being pushed towards our border. This isn't just a loss of aid. It's a loss of American credibility, a loss of moral authority, a loss of global influence, and it's going to cost us dearly. And why should American people care? Because when we fail to lead with compassion and common sense, the world becomes less stable, our troops face more danger, and we pay the price again and again. When we cut aid, we risk increased war. When we defund development, we undercut diplomacy, and when we turn our back on the world, we endanger our own. And I speak as the proud mother, a U.S. Marine veteran. I know many of the members here have also served our country. And we know what happens when diplomacy fails. When we fail to prevent conflict with education, aid, and engagement, the burden falls on the Pentagon and on families whose loved ones serve in the military. And let's remember, the entire international affairs budget has typically been less than 1% of federal spending, but it delivers exponential return for our safety, prosperity, and moral standing. These programs give youth an alternative to violence. They build markets for American goods. They prevent wars. They reduce migration pressures. They keep our troops home. And this bill, sadly, is a missed opportunity, a failure to lead, a failure to invest in the power of peace, progress, and partnership. But let me end with this, Mr. Chair and my colleagues. Democrats are not giving up. We stand ready to work with our Republican colleagues to fight for a bill that reflects our values, honors our commitments, and protects American lives. A sustained path to a safer, stronger, more prosperous nation cannot be built on isolation and threats alone. Because we cannot bomb our way to peace, we cannot drone our way to stability, and we cannot retreat our way to safety. A strong America leads, not with fear, but with courage, not by pulling back, but by reaching out. And that is the bill we should all be fighting for. And with that, I yield back.